Hello and welcome back to Planet Nibiru, where anything is possible. Today, in a shocking turn of events, pun intended, we will visit the alchemist Corny and the Homunculus. There have been some rather odd and very cool developments with the Homunculus since the last update, and you need to see this for yourself. I am very excited to bring you this update because so many of you have been asking for this specifically. So, without any further ado, let's dive right in. First, Corny the Alchemist has been pondering exactly what the Homunculus seems to be spitting out at certain times. Many folks have said that they believe that this is waste or excrement that the Homunculus is putting off. The Alchemist was considering this also, but he believes that this milky substance is more related to the substance that the first Homunculus spit on his arm before he smashed it with a book. He states that the first time it spit on him, his arm had a reaction to the substance, like a rash that was uncomfortable. He said it was not extremely painful, but it was uncomfortable and left a rash on his skin. Now the Homunculus is spewing this milky white substance into the water every few days, usually a little while after feeding. This has led Corny and some others to believe that it may be excrement. Since we do not see any other way that the creature is putting off its waste products, it may be a safe assumption to say that this is how it goes to the bathroom. In addition, it normally happens about 20 to 30 minutes after a feeding. Not every feeding, but about once every 3 or 4 feedings, it does spew this substance. So again, this leads people to believe that it could be excrement. Other people point out that the Homunculus could be expelling its excrement through its skin. But Corny wanted to know more about this substance, so he decided to do a couple of tests on it to see what he could find out. The first test would be to apply this substance to some other living thing to see if it has an effect on it. First up was a common houseplant. Corny applies some of the fluid from the Homunculus to the plant and then waits for the test results. In the meantime, he takes some of it and takes a look at it under the microscope to see if he can find any live spermatozoa in the fluid. This would indicate that instead of it being waste, it might be how the Homunculus procreates. However, when we look at it under the microscope, we see no indication that it has any living sperm in there at all. However, we can only compare what we see to human or other animal sperm. So there may in fact be some type of spermatozoa in there, but we just may not be able to recognize it because we do not know what to look for. However, we do know that there is nothing in there that resembles human sperm. By the end of the first testing day, the fluid has had a major effect on the houseplant. It has wilted the plant almost entirely, almost like we poured bleach on it or something like that. So this tells us that it may still be excrement, or it may be some type of poison. Whatever it is, it's certainly no good for plants, and it shows that it may have some type of burning effect like Corny experienced from the first Homunculus that spit on his arm so long ago. Now with this little test done, Corny has decided to try feeding the Homunculus live food. At the behest of so many people who have been asking for him to put a fish in the tank, he has agreed, and the results are nothing short of amazing. At first, the fish swims around for a second and there seems to be no action. The Homunculus is very still and the fish seems safe. But a moment later, the fish just seems to faint. At this point, Corny attempts to grab the fish with some metal forceps to feed it directly to the Homunculus. But he is shocked by the camera wire and the video cuts off. Now things get really interesting. When he returns, he explains that he was not shocked by the camera wire as he originally thought. It was the Homunculus that shocked him, and he surmises that this is what caused the fish to faint. He is now at a point where he needs to make a decision, but he does not know what to do. He thinks that the electric shock might just be a defensive mechanism so that the fish does not eat the Homunculus, but he does not know this for sure, as it could be a natural part of the homunculus' feeding on live animals. Since this is the first time that he has tried feeding it live food, he cannot say whether it's just how the homunculus feeds or if it's a defense mechanism. He doesn't know what to do and would like our feedback on what he should do next. For the time being, he is allowing the fish to lay there until he decides on his next course of action. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am loving this electric action. It seems so crazy for this creature to have this ability at all, knowing where it came from. Electric eels have this ability, and that is how they feed as well as how they defend themselves. And people have even been killed by electric eels using their ability to generate an electric shock. So to see this fish knocked out by an electric shock is no big deal, except that it's not normally a part of the genetic makeup of either species that was used to create the creature. So it's very exciting and highly strange to say the least. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the electric shock is part of its defensive features? Or do you think it's normally part of its offensive feeding features? Or do you think it's something else entirely? Please get in the comment section and let us know so we can send our feedback back to Corny and he can figure out how he will continue this experiment. Tell us what you'd like to see next. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.